ENG597 Spring 2018 Session B Capstone for the English Online MA degree. My name's Elizabeth Horan, and it's my pleasure to be your instructor for this class. The focus is on your reflection on your learning experiences through your pursuit of the MA degree in English Studies, and you're completing a new independent writing project that synthesizes your learning. In this course, you'll look backward to reflect on what you've accomplished, create a new product, and you'll look forward to your future career goals. Please look at the left-hand navigation menu, which is divided into 4 quadrants. I will now review each one so that you're prepared for this class. In the top quadrant, start here, there's a welcome, and below that, meet your instructor. That's my introduction video, and that's followed, the introduction video, 4 minutes, is then followed by the syllabus, which describes the course and provides pertinent course-related information. You get a short list of the larger point value assignments down here, as well as how they translate into the grading scale for the course, right here. In all the assignments that involve developing peer responses to other students' work, that peer response is incorporated into your grade. Another way of putting that is that Blackboard notifies me when you've completed an assignment, and completing it includes the number of peer responses that are indicated in the assignment instructions. In the textbook information area up here, you'll see that I've just ordered one book, and it's not required. It is useful because it has good answers to questions that writers have about everything from developing a topic to formatting a works cited page. In the course schedule area, you'll see that every assignment is listed. Discussion board posts, homeworks, as well as written assignments that are longer in nature. What I'd suggest that you do as an organizational tactic would be to copy and paste this into a Word document and print it out and put it within where you can see it at eye level near your computer, and that will help you keep on track. There's other ways that you can keep track too, which is to go down here into the course content area, and as you can see here are all of the different assignments as well as the points for them, and you'll see that the ones at the first week are all pretty low stakes, medium here, still sort of medium, and then toward the middle, and you'll be developing your research project in through here, and then at the end, close to the end, you'll be turning it in after having gotten feedback from your peers and from me. The due date here lists both the day of the week as well as the date, and all assignments are due at 11:59 Arizona time on the day they're indicated. Then if we look over here to course content and I click on each of the weeks, another way that you can keep track of where we are is that each of the assignments is linked. So if I click on discussion board, it'll take me to this week's discussion board, and that's true for every one of the weeks. And for all of the red headings that you see here, it'll take you to where you need to be turning things in. Here you have a homework, so if you click on that, you'll see where it is, and you can use the guidelines that are here, and then you're going to submit it here by uploading it. So all of those links are available in here in each of the different areas. Just briefly about reviewing this course content area. In the first part, you'll see that the first week is really the content is where you're reflecting on your learning over the past, and you're beginning to use that to develop the topic for your research project for the class, and also reflecting on your learning from your various courses in the online MA. If you go to week 2, you'll see that this that continues that process of reflection, and then you begin developing possible projects for the final project, different ideas there, and also have a chance to learn about ASU databases in order to use them effectively. And we'll have a short session, a short video session on that. And then in week 3, you can see that there's really beginning to develop the topic proposal by the beginning of that week, and at the same time thinking about and doing research on your future career goals, because these may well be linked. They might not be, but they may well be. And then also developing sample annotations, and this begins to get you and all the students in the class geared up for the next piece, which is the week 4, an annotated bibliography, and then based on the annotated bibliography, a short critical essay. And as homework, you begin to develop in a very low stakes way your possible outline for it. So in each week, there are discussion board postings, homeworks, which are mini assignments and mini topics and mini annotations, which you accumulate, and you sort of do trial and error, and you're keeping track of all of these, just as I've asked you in the first week to sort of look back at what you've created in your classes so far and what you think you might do with some of them. If you go to week 5, you'll see that you get this overview, and this is when you have drafts of your final research projects are due. And I call them pretty good drafts because they're going to be read by your peers, and your peers will be giving you feedback on them, and I'll give you feedback on them as well, but your primary feedback will be at this point from your peers. And you want them to be pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. And those pretty good responses mean that they'll be able to focus on the ideas and your argument and how you present your different possibilities there. And if it's a curriculum project, by the way, which is a definite possibility, you still need to do annotations and have an argument and all of the sorts of things that we do when we develop research. You'll have a self-evaluation, and at the bottom of every week, you'll see that there's a link on to the next one. The final research project is due on the 16th. That's Monday of week 6, and you'll have an opportunity to reflect. And then the last major assignment is an accessible mediated presentation of the final project, in which you'll give a presentation no more than 10 minutes. Accessible if you're going to have a voiceover or do a video, which are 2 ways that I know of having it be mediated. You need to make sure to include the script there. And then in the discussion board response, people will respond to that. And for one of your last one of the last assignments, be working on your curriculum vitae or resume. I like to talk here, and then of course week 7 is you get to do a course evaluation, and you get to be done. I should probably put some exclamation points down here at the bottom. If you look in the communications area, I want to stress the hallway conversations area, which I really do use a lot and look at every day. And also the discussion board area. This is a shortcut way to get to any of the discussion board forums that you can see along here. If you go to My Grades in the bottom quadrant, you can see that every one of the assignments is listed here with a due date as well as the point value assigned to it. So this is kind of another place where you could check to see if you're thinking to yourself, what do I have due next? You could go quickly here and see where you are. One of the questions I sometimes get from students is, can they do the work in advance? And the answer to that is yes, as long as you're moving chronologically through each one of these, because they are all built to lead on to the next thing. So it doesn't make much sense to, for example, do mini topics for the final project before having done the research on future career goals as a homework. And the sample annotations, you want to make sure to have worked on a project proposal and gotten feedback on that before going much further with that. So another thing that you can do if you're thinking of moving through the assignments quickly is to do so with 2 or 3 other people in the class. And the reason for that is that your assignment, again, it's not complete if part of the requirements for the assignment is to do peer reviews of 2 other, or to respond to 2 other people or 4 other people in the class. So you want to look at each assignment and plan for that eventuality. And perhaps, and also it's less lonely to be working together with other people. So that's the 4 quadrants there. Oh, another last part in here is that if we look at the ASU library, a tip: advanced search lets you narrow your search down in all kinds of interesting ways, and by material types, and by language, and by publication date, which can be quite useful in any number of ways. I urge you to use advanced search as opposed to just typing in here, because if you just type in what you think you remember the topic might be, you'll get a whole lot of hits and you'll spend more time trying to refine the search. Whereas if you go to advanced search, you can think through what sort of terminology you might use and what kind of resources you might use. One resource that I also recommend is all research databases. You can look, since you're signed in, you can look in Google Scholar and limit it to all kinds of possibilities there. And you can also see, if you type something into Google Scholar, what has been cited frequently, what's been used less frequently, and that will help you identify often the major scholars and major recent work that's been done in the field. Another way to do it is to search for databases. One database I strongly urge looking at is the MLA, short for Modern Language Association, and that is the premier database for people working in the field of language, literature, linguistics, and folklore. It includes some Ret Comp stuff as well. If we go to the MLA International Bibliography, you click on that. It'll take a little while to connect, and you'll be able to go from here to get all sorts of possibilities. And you can limit your possibilities by using these. Author is a very useful one. Document title is another. You can do it by topic and so forth. If you're interested in rhetoric and composition, the ERIC database is very useful. That's the Educational Resource International Clearinghouse. And you can often, as you say, that's the premier U.S. database of education literature. It's sponsored by the U.S. Department of Education, your tax dollars at work. So, beyond that, I guess we'll say, I'm going to close that up. Welcome to the class. Here's email if you want to email me, though I would say that the best way is usually to send me something in hallway conversations, and often your questions can be answered in hallway conversations quickly, but I do respond quickly to my email as well. And welcome to the class. I'm really looking forward to working with everyone, and have a great